Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. And I'm sorry I'm a few days late with this news. It's somewhat good news. EA is pretty much going to fix their mess of Star Wars Battlefront as much as they can. That system they placed inside the game is meant to be a pay-to-win system, and it's meant to be loot box crazy. Their prime goal in that was to sell and make more money off the microtransactions than the price of the game. And I'll explain why that's bad and why old-timers like me are pissed and why something has to be done in a minute. In the meantime, if you are a fan of Star Wars and you want to go pick up this game, I suppose it's safe right now. You're not going to get screwed, at least. But you are going to be supporting EA games, and I don't think they're going to learn their lesson, at least with one failure. $3 billion is a drop in the bucket. And I do want to do this video because I think some kids that I ran over on the Game Theorist when I posted a comment about this when MatPat apologized for doing a Star Wars video, kind of criticized me for disliking it. Alright guys, I have played DICE games. When Battlefield Bad Company was originally released, before EA and the rest of the AAA market started a lot of these shenanigans, it was a really solid game. It's how first-person shooter games should go. Rewarded for skill. Progression was done in a timely manner, you know, like a balanced RPG. And it was a really fun game. But what they're doing now is a great concern for everybody, and I'll try to show you kids why. Alright, this isn't going to be the world's best illustration, so I apologize up front for this. But anyways, this is a $60 game. This sheet of paper represents a $60 game. A great example of a $60 game that came out this year, gave you a full $60 value, would be something like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You can't complain about the sheer amount of content that came inside that disc, okay? You can complain about some of the features, but you can't complain about the size and scope of the content, okay? Zelda Breath of the Wild could easily take someone 100 to 200 hours to completely see. But Nintendo, over the last few months, has added DLC, which are these things, and you could just like stick them all over the $60 package to give you more game. And that's how it's supposed to be. You know, you're supposed to get a good roster of characters. You are supposed to get a good epic adventure in a first-person shooter online game. You are supposed to get enough maps to feel like it's satisfying, and good character progression and good weapons. And then you can pull these on to keep the game more interesting as the time with the game progresses, to keep it from getting dull until the next installment. That's how it's supposed to work. Now let me show you what AAA games are doing now, and this is what's upsetting everyone. As I said before, these are the microtransactions, these are the DLC. Alright, let's see here. This is Star Wars the way EA wanted to do it. It's $60. It's not a free mobile game. It's $60. And like I said before, a good first-person shooter would have a decent progression system. It would definitely be somewhat balanced. I mean, it would be, you know, better players would still kill the newer players, but the server would make sure that you didn't get teamed up with experts too often. You'd have decent customization of your characters if that was allowed, and if there were extra characters or extra equipment, you'd have a decent chance of unlocking them as you play. You know, you wouldn't have to spend forever. But this is what Star Wars did, kids. Well, progression in the original release of this game, it took, what, 40 hours to unlock either Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader, and that's if you unlock nothing else. I mean, no new weapons, no new characters, no nothing. So, we'll just rip progression and throw that to the sides. Then, well, what about fair play? Well, screw it. You know, those star cards that you could buy from loot boxes, they would really increase your character stats far beyond normal. If you didn't buy any, you'd be out of luck. So it's obviously no fair play. Ooh, customization. Well, we don't want pink Darth Vaders now, do we? Of course not, EA. We don't want any pink Darth Vaders. And as I said before, character unlocks or getting anything would take, you know, a severe amount of time, like 6 months of nonstop playing. And I can hear some kids saying, well, isn't that a good value? And when you're young and you're a kid, let me tell you this, your time isn't as important to you. But as you grow up, you start to realize time is everything. Time is the one thing you can never get back, okay? You can refund broken items, you can return or resell bad movies, but you can never, ever get the time back that you spent with them. That includes time spent playing bad games. So, spending 1,000 hours on a game that's just a tedious grind, count me out, as well as most adults who know better. So basically, this is what you're getting for a $60 game when you buy EA. I'd say you're getting significantly less, wouldn't you? You're just kind of getting a shell of it. And if you want all that put back, well, you have to go and buy a whole crap load of these. We'll say each color is a different thing. One to power up your character customizations. But we're not letting you buy these. Oh, no, 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 no. We're going to put a few of these in a loot box, and you don't know exactly what you're going to get unless you purchase a crap load of those. And if you didn't get the stickers you need, or star cards, to fix the mess that the game is, well, you're just going to have to either grind several more hours, or you're going to have to spend more money. And if you're an obsessive person, you could easily keep purchasing them until you get the item you want. Okay, and as someone who does have a little bit of an obsessive problem, I can relate to that. Okay, you can easily spend more money with a click of a button. And when it's small purchases, people are unlikely to think about their overall budget. If you ever been to a grocery store, notice the candy bars that are 99 cents are always right next to the checkout. That's because they know people by that point aren't going to watch their budget compared to the big screen TVs, which they're going to save for months packaged in. So you can easily impulse buy a lot of these loot boxes. And that's wrong when you're paying $60 and this is all you're getting. If this was a budget game or a free-to-play game and they wanted you to buy a whole bunch of stickers because that's the only way they're making money, that's fine by me. I don't necessarily like the loot box system, but I can understand the game kind of being in a somewhat broken state, encouraging you to buy microtransactions in order to play, because that's how they're making their money. But I've already spent $60. I deserve $60 worth of goods. And for those who are saying, well, game prices haven't gone up 10 years and games are more expensive to develop for, yes, development costs have gone up, but guess what? Digital distribution is at an all-time high, so you cut out the middlemen of retail, as well as the cost of disc and shipping and all that. That's gone down, as well as the fact that you can actually release DLC, and when it's good DLC, it will sell, causing you not to have to develop as much game software to make people happy. The third-party developers' stock prices are at an all-time high, so don't believe that malarkey. We're getting shafted big time. Now, another thing I want to bring up before I end this video here is the talk about getting government interference, getting government to regulate this as gambling. Do I think it's necessary? Yes, I do, but I'm a libertarian, so I want people who are jumping on that bandwagon to hear my warning. You've got to be careful. You have got to watch how the process is done. You got to see how that bill is written and how that regulation will work before you applaud it and pass it on through. Because if the regulation is not specifically tailored to the problem, which is to get rid of these in video games, loot boxes, in video games, it could cause a whole lot of damage, especially among some of the free-to-play games if we got rid of microtransactions in general among games that actually really do need that type of monetization in order to survive. So you have to watch out. And another thing you have to take in consideration, a lot of people in Congress are old, okay? 60, 70 years old. Definitely not gamers, so they're going to need a lot of help writing the bill. Who's going to help them? Well, AAA companies that have plenty of money to lobby. If you can lose $3 billion with a B and barely see your stock drop yank much, you definitely have enough money to lobby and make sure that whatever's written isn't going to hurt you as much as people think it will. So you got to keep an eye on this. If regulation starts to get passed, keep an eye on it and make sure it's a good thing. Don't just jump on it because it's regulating and you're looking for a cure-all. It won't. In the meantime, I suggest if this type of bullcrap, shoving these into everything does piss you off, my thought is if you hear loot boxes are in the game, paid loot boxes and paid to win loot boxes are in the game, I don't care what series it is, I don't care how long it's been in, I don't care who the developer publisher is, you boycott that game until they decide to remove the freaking loot boxes. This is Tommy the Game Master, thanking you for listening to this rant. I will catch you guys later. And if you have a comment, feel free to leave that down below too, I guess. Bye.